kind of ask you something about this, the emotion of today, and just seeing so many people turn out just to see this happen today for you.
Yeah, it was great. It's overwhelming. I know state fans are always great, and just to see so many people come out during the middle of the week at 11:30 is pretty awesome. The turnout and see family drive in from all over. It's a big moment, not only for me, but for my family.
Did you like the statue?
Yeah, it turned out real good. Yeah. Except they could have had Walton up under me, leaving open, but you get the gist of the picture. So I think they did a great job with it, and I think what's really good is showing the 44-inch vertical on there at the bottom of the statue. Had me levitating in there, and that's what I did back in the day. That was our signature play, the alley-oop, so that was appropriate.
Go ahead, Rob.
David, Rob Baxley, Fayetteville Observer. How has your perspective changed from all those years ago? How have you seen that kind of progress and change, being away from it and then coming back and having this moment?
Well, you know, when you're playing during the time, you're just a kid. You're taking it day by day, and you don't really look at the historical facts of what happened and what you did. And you think, well, shoot, I thought we were going to win the next year, but that never happened. It took like 9 more years before we won, and it's been, what, 40 years since we won then, so I didn't really realize how rare and how special a national championship is. And, you know, it's just for the people to remember you 50 years later, having to be a part of the very first national championship at the university was something that's very special.
Go ahead, JB.
David, JB Rich for Special News 1. Can you just take me back to the moment when you found out that this unveiling this statue was going to be made for you, and what were your initial thoughts? Was it kind of a situation of it's about time, or I'm just honored, or you know what I mean? Just like your immediate emotion when you found out.
I was excited about it. You know, I told some people, and they said, I thought they had a statue of you already, but, you know, the time was perfect, you know, in conjunction with the 50-year anniversary. It was a great year for everybody. And as you know, we're not getting any younger, and I'm glad to have a statue there while I'm alive. You know, we just lost one of our teammates, Mo Rivers, last week, and we lost a couple other guys from the national championship team, Bill Lake, and so, you know, time is everything. So I think it was a great time, and have a chance for my grandkids to see the statue and my daughters, and just to be around, to come back and reflect on the times we had together. And it's great to see Tommy and the guys come out. He always says that we had a great team without me, and he's true about that. But for them to take the time out of the busy schedule in the middle of the day, take off from what they're doing to come out was a big sacrifice on their part. That just shows the way they feel about me and the way we feel about each other.
Pat Gibson, CBS 17. David, in a day of NIL, what would a David Thompson go for these days, money-wise? I mean, and do you agree with the way college basketball is heading?
I think it's great for the players. I always say I was born too soon. I could have got a lot of money from the NIL, but you know, it's a good thing. I think there's some quirks that need to be fixed with that. You know, guys are moving around too often, but it's a good idea, and a lot of guys are capitalizing from it.
Go ahead, Hal.
David Hal Nunn from Sports Blast and North State Journal. It was good to see so many players, and I'm particular to one. Phil Spence was here today, and back in the day I was in that classroom when you came to Cary High School to visit. Do you ever remember that day, or coming to see Coach Spence at Cary?
Not really.
It's okay.
To be honest with you, I don't remember. I remember me and Tommy going over to his house,
Yeah.
recruiting him, you know, talking with his mom, and you know, a kid has to get the mom's approval, and she was real impressed with me and Tommy and the relationship we had, and how we talked about Phil coming in to help us win the championship. And once she gave him the okay, he signed up right there.
Was it good to see him today? Good to see Phil today?
Yeah, it's good to see Phil. He's had some health problems and everything, and great for him to come out. Mark Moeller, Craig Kuzma, some of the guys that weren't well-known players, but they were key members of our team, and I was glad to see them all come out.
Thank you.
David, Corey Smith with Pack Pride on 24/7 Sports. What does it mean to be the first player that's had a statue outside? Obviously, the coach's corner on the opposite side with all four, including Norm Sloan. What does it mean to be the first player to have your statue outside of Reynolds Coliseum?
Now, it really means a lot, you know, to be the first player, and there's only one first player. And to be that one, you gotta be special, and so I'm just grateful for them choosing me to be that first one.
Go ahead, Pat.
Hey David, Pat Walter from WRAL. When you were talking to the crowd up there, you get a little choked up, emotional, talking about your parents and how proud they would be. What were you kind of feeling in that moment?
Just reflecting back from where we came from and the struggles we went through, and just still getting choked up there, but how they worked hard and provided everything for me, and just for that finale of me having a statue is something that it's a blessing from God, blessing for them through me. That's why I feel.
Thanks for sharing.
Claire Goodwin with Fox 8. When you look at your accomplishments between the retirement of your jersey and the Hall of Fame and all that stuff, where does this rank amongst those?
It's got to be the top, I think. You know, getting inducted in the Hall of Fame is really good, but being the first at your university, you know, and in the history of the school, I think that has to be number one.
Yeah, I'm Rob McLean with Inside Pack Sports. I have a kind of a two-part question. First of all, for it to be 50 years and you see all these young people and all that to still be revered so long, to have that impact in the school, what does that mean to you, sir? And then my second question is, you know, Randy Denton, you know, you get all these other players from other schools, Phil Ford obviously, to have adversaries at that time come back in your moment, your special moment, what does that mean to you?
It means a lot. It shows the respect that they have for me and my abilities, and you know, I was always respectful of my opponents when we played. You know, we were real good friends with Phil. We do a lot of events together. Randy, we played against each other in the ABA, so we kind of had that ABA struggle going into the NBA. So we have history together. And Barry Parkhill, he was the ACC Player of the Year when I was a freshman, and I won it the next 3 years. But to play against him my sophomore year when he was a senior, and to have him come back and show his respect was something I'm very proud of, and I'm thankful for those guys to look at me in that manner.
In the 50 years, sir, why do you think it resonates so long after, I mean, it's half a century, and it still resonates and it means so much to NC State fans? You mean so much to NC State fans.
Well, our team was special. We had a exciting style of play. We did things, we played above the rim, we played fast. We had a circus team, you know, we had Monty Towell, the midget, I don't know if that's politically correct, but it had Tommy the Giant, and we played exciting style. We scored 150 points in some games and won by 75 sometimes, and won 34 straight ACC games, which is crazy. Nobody ever do that again. But yeah, just the style of play and this excitement we brought to the game. I think even other teams in the ACC enjoy watching us play.
Anything else for David?
David, I'm sorry. Did the Guinness Book of World Records come here to measure your vertical leap?
Yeah, as a freshman, I was in the Guinness Book of World Records with 42 inches was when I was a 17-year-old freshman. And then the next year got up to 44. So it was listed in Guinness Book of World Records. I saw the 1980 listing, and it was still in there, but
So you got better as you got older.
oh, yeah. But then you peak out at a certain point. After 2 or 3 years in the NBA, you start going backwards, all the wear and tear on your legs. But yeah, 44. That was a straight up vertical. Now they test guys, they call it the max verticals. You take a few steps and jump, so I never was tested.
So what were you on a
that.
3-step jump?
I was never tested for that. 3 steps or on the run, you could really get up.
All right, David, just to narrow it down, what was your most memorable moment in here? And in a two-part question to that, why did you dunk in that last game?
Well, one of the most, well, I guess most memorable for the fans was when I fell. It tripped over Phil Spencer's head and came back into the arena, and the response the fans got from me coming back with a turban-like bandage around my head. There were reports that I was dead prior to me coming back, and I knew the guys on the team would be worried about me and upset, so I asked the doctors if I could come back to the game, and they did. I came back to the game kind of groggy and everything, but Monty was dribbling up the court with tears in his eyes, and Tommy and Phil, they played their best games. Mo Rivers had a great game, and we won going away. But I wanted them to let them know that I was okay. I also wanted them to win the game because I wanted to play it against UCLA the following week. But they did a great job of that. And what was the second part of the question?
You dunked in your last game. Even though
Oh, yeah.
Dunking was not allowed.
It had been so frustrating playing in the ACC during that time when you had the alley-oop, you had to catch the ball and drop it into the basket. You're way over the rim, and so, that the fans didn't really get an idea of what I could really do. So this was our last home game. We were playing against UNC Charlotte. They had Cornbread Maxwell on their team, and we were up by about 20 points late in the game. And prior to the game, they retired my jersey. So I thought I needed to give fans something to remember me by. So late in the contest, I got away on a breakaway, and I did a tomahawk windmill dunk. I got a technical foul and a standing ovation. Coach Sloan took me out of the game, and he said, that was the Thompson flair. That was the way to end your career. So that was a pretty good way to go out. About 10 years later, 20 years later, a guy said, David, do you know that if you would have not dunked the ball, just laid it into the basket, your senior year you would average 30 points a game? And said, would you want that back? I said, no, I wouldn't change anything. Nobody would remember that, but everybody remembers my last dunk in the last game.
So when you came back in after the fall, and you got the standing ovation then too, that couldn't have been good for somebody who just had a grade 3 concussion or whatever it was, right?
Probably not, but I was okay. And they took me back to the hospital and checked me out overnight. So if it was now, I don't think I would have been able to play in the UCLA game because I definitely had a concussion. And so.
How long did you stay in the hospital?
Just overnight.
Just overnight.
Mm-hmm. And during the week, Coach Sloan was worried about me, and he was asking about it. Is he okay? Is he okay? And I got tired of that. One day during practice, he was drawing on the bulletin board, writing up plays, and I said, okay, I'm gonna do something to trick him. And during that time, the movie The Exorcist was out. And so he's up drawing on the board, and I rolled my head around the back and my eyes back to my head, and Coach Sloan went crazy. He said, David, are you okay? And I bust out laughing and said I was fine. And he said, boy, you almost gave me a heart attack. But he knew if I could joke about it, I was fine, so they stopped asking me about it then.
One last question? Go ahead, Rob.
If you could just speak directly to NC State fans, your gratitude for what they've done over the years, what would you say to them, sir?
I just want to thank NC State fans for all their love and support. You know, they've been with me through thick and thin, through ups and downs, and they always show me love whenever I come to the games or when I see them out on the streets or anywhere. And I love the fan support. They always stick with their team through good and bad. And I'm praying that we'll have a national championship for them in the near future.